Smile and learn.
Renewable energy. We obtain energy from two different sources, renewable energy sources and non-renewable energy sources. Today we're going to learn about renewable energy sources. Renewable energy refers to all those limitless energy sources present in nature. The sun, the wind, the force of water, or the inner heat of the earth are examples of renewable energy sources. These energy sources are present in nature and are naturally replenished. That's why they never run out. These are some of the most well-known renewable energy types.
If you turn back time a few years back from now, the idea of alternative energy was never in the picture. However, with the continuous increase in the power demands all across the globe, the rapid exploitation of our conventional energy resources, the need of any dependable alternative energy source is more than ever. In 2013, renewable energy provided 26.44% of the total electricity in the Philippines, and 19,903 gigawatt hours of electrical energy out of a total demand of 75,266 gigawatt hours. The Philippines is a net importer of fossil fuels. For the sake of energy security, there is a momentum to develop renewable energy sources. The Philippines utilizes renewable energy sources including hydropower, geothermal, and solar energy. Among the renewable energy sources available in the country, geothermal shows to be the cheapest and most economically attractive energy source, followed by wind, hydropower, and lastly solar energy. Alternative energy encompasses all those things that do not consume fossil fuel. They are widely available and environment friendly. They cost little or almost no population. There have been several alternative energy projects running in various countries to reduce our dependence on traditional fossil fuels. There are many impressive options that you can take into consideration. In the Philippines, there are hydroelectric plants of both the conventional dam and running of the river types. Of 29 hydroelectric plants, 14 are conventional dam and 15 are run-of-river systems. Many areas of the Philippines are suitable for hydroelectricity production. However, hydroelectricity production in the Philippines can cause upstream and downstream flooding during monsoonal weather and when excess water is released from dams. In the Philippines, geothermal energy is used to generate electricity. Two types of technologies are used in the Philippines. These are firstly, the higher temperature flash steam method, and secondly, the lower temperature binary cycle method. In the Philippines, the first is the more common. The second is used only at the Macban plant. Geothermal plants are suitable for areas with low winds, such as Mindanao, and areas that have rainy weather, such as Batanes. Geothermal energy production can result in the release of toxic substances such as mercury, hydrogen sulfide, arsenic, and selenium. In 2014, a geothermal plant in Biliran, 8 plant workers were hospitalized with hydrogen sulfide poisoning. In 2015, 3 solar farms were constructed in the Philippines. The Philippines receives over 7 kilowatt per hour per square meter per day during its peak month of April and the lowest at 3 kilowatt per hour per square meter per day during its off-peak month of December, as observed by shadow expedition in 33 sites of the country. Solar energy is the first energy source in the world. It was in the use much earlier before humans even learned how to light a fire. Many living things are dependent on solar energy from plants, aquatic life, and animals. The solar energy is mostly used in generating light and heat. The solar energy coming down to the planet is affected by the orbital path of the sun and the variations within the galaxy. In addition, it is affected by activity taking place in space and on the sun. It was this energy that is believed have been responsible for the breaking of ice during the Ice Age, which creates the separation of land and sea. All wind power sites in the Philippines are onshore facilities. Some such as Ilocos Norte, Pilio Wind Farm in the Rizal, and the Bangi Wind Farm are tourist destinations. Wind energy. It is one of the energy sources that have been in use for a very long time, for centuries. It was used in powering sailing ships, which made it possible for explorers to sail around in their trade routes in distant lands. A single windmill can power the crop irrigation and their family energy needs, water pumping, and electric lights. However, in the present time, there are several windmills that are used to generate required energy mostly for industrial uses. Many of the wind turbines can capture much power at all once before feeding it to the power grid. This is commonly known as the windmill farms and has been in use. Biomass energy refers to any energy derived from plant and animal sources. Biomass resources are abundant in the Philippines due to its large agricultural industry. Bagasse, rice husks, and coconut husks are used to generate power. The Philippines also uses biogas from landfill as a biomass energy source. The availability of biomass can be affected by events such as drought. Biomass energy is also a process by which an alternative energy is generated through conversion of biological materials and wastes in form that can be used as energy source for heating, power generation, and transportation. Those carbon-based substances or materials converted over a long period of time of fossil fuels are not regarded as biomass. However, in the original state, they are regarded as biomass. This is because of the separation of the carbon they previously contained from the carbon cycle. This makes them figure differently, affecting carbon dioxide levels in the air. There is a momentum to decrease reliance on the fossil fuels due to the negative effects such as pollution, climate change, and financial uncertainty because of fluctuating fuel prices. Legislation passed by the Congress of the Philippines to support the use of renewable energy include the Electric Power Industry Reform Act 2001, the Biofuels Act 2006, which encourages the use of biomass fuels, the Renewable Energy Act 2008, and the Climate Change Act 2009, which provide a legal basis for addressing climate change through sustainable development. Renewable energy implementation is important to the Philippines for several reasons. The geographic characteristics of the country make it vulnerable to the adverse effects of the climate change. Rising sea levels are a threat because of the Philippines is an archipelago with any cities located in coastal areas. As the coastline resides due to the rising seas, coastal cities become vulnerable to flooding. Climate change has also been linked to the changing weather patterns and extreme weather events. Reliance on the fossil fuels is detrimental to the energy security of the Philippines. The Philippines is a net importer of fossil fuels. Moreover, the issue of global warming due to the burning of fuels has become a hot button topic over the course of the last few decades. Today, there is a general shift towards environmental awareness and the source of our energy as coming under closer scrutiny. This has led to the number of alternative energy sources. While the viability of each can be argued, they all contribute something positive when compared to fossil fuels.